All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming back to you with another video on this Wednesday. This video is going to be a little something different than what I usually report on. I usually deal with politics and the law, but this is more on the law side of it. I'm quite sure if you pay attention to social media that y'all are aware that they announced that DJ Akademiks is being sued for SA charges. Diddy is being sued for SA charges. Happened to be that T.I was sued for SA charges. And the connection happens to be an attorney named Tyrone Blackburn. Now, because everybody is threatening with civil suits, we're going to say that these things are allegedly. But over here, we don't believe in conspiracy theories, but we also don't believe in coincidences. Everything is not a coinky dink, if you know what I mean. Now, I started looking into this attorney, and you'll be surprised what you'll find out about him if you just Google his name. Go on YouTube and Google his name, Tyrone Blackburn, and see how many lawsuits he's been a part of. Now, one thing that we don't stand for is people using the legal and in the judicial system against other Americans, not for extortion, not to derail campaigns, not for slander or any other reason should you use the judicial system in that manner. So what we're going to look at is some of the things I uncovered. Now I want you to check out this clip in this video. It's for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for educational purposes and commentary and the First Amendment. Check this out.
Yeah, his bar license is under review now. Now he's got to prove, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. The only case that he's ever won was the case that he won against the company he sued that he worked for. They gave him money. He ain't won. So what he does is he threatens these celebrities and say, we're gonna go forward with this lawsuit. If you pay, we won't go forward. That's extortion.
Is attorney Tyrone Blackburn hurting victims of crime, specifically the victims that he's representing? I'm going to do my best to make this a very short video on everything Tyrone Blackburn. I have previous videos, they'll be in the description box, but let's break this down all the way down. Now, for those that are not aware, Tyrone Blackburn is the attorney that really came into the spotlight when he was representing victims of Tiny and T.I. Initially, it was said to have been 32 victims. It went from 32 to the single digits. What has happened on that case, we really don't know, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. He's also represented Jennifer Huff in the Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj harassment case, which I believe the harassment part of that case has been dropped. And now Tyrone Blackburn's name is coming up in the media again because he is representing Rodney Jones. Rodney Jones is making various allegations on Diddy in this civil complaint. But we have to talk about Tyrone Blackburn because there has been a lot of sketchiness behind him that is rightfully so, that has followed him throughout the years. Very important for us to highlight this in this very short video. Let's go. So as of recent, attorney Tyrone Blackburn is facing potential discipline after a federal judge in another case sharply criticized him for filing suits designed to garner media attention and embarrass the defendants. So Judge Denise Coate referred Tyrone Blackburn to the Grievance Committee for New York Federal Court District, an entity that decides whether attorneys have violated court rules. She cites his conduct in 5 different lawsuits, saying Blackburn filing in those cases had featured glaring deficiencies. So one of the things that's very notable that really brought my attention about Tyrone Blackburn very early on in Tiny T.I is that his lawsuits are very much media attention grabbing in comparison to somebody like Lisa Bloom, who to me presents herself to be more for the victims. based on her lawsuits and her professionalism, Tyrone Blackburn is a bit opposite of that. People have said on social media, specifically on Twitter, Tyrone Blackburn lawsuit will go further in the streets than it will in a courtroom. Other folks have said the newest Diddy lawsuit is very unprofessionally written. First, these pictures of these people involved is unnecessary and serve no purpose other than to be entertainment for the general public. You don't need to put pictures of parties. This one in particular is shady, and people have commented on that. Why were pictures put up there? I've seen various lawsuits. I've never seen anybody put up a picture unless it was necessary. In my opinion, I feel like he would.
Now, the reason I'm showing this to you today is because in these latest allegations against DJ Akademiks and the recent suit filed against him, Tyrone Blackburn names appear again. Do y'all really believe in coincidences like that? You know, Akademiks made a video alluding to the fact that when he started looking into the lawyer behind other suits versus looking at the person being sued, he started seeing the connection with Tyrone Blackburn. Listen to some more.
Just trying to fill in space on this lawsuit. More, graphics, I guess. Judge Denise Coate is quoted saying, a reasonable inference from Blackburn's pattern of behavior is that he improperly files cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass the defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Indeed, his submissions to the courts have been rife with disturbing allegations against the defendants and counsel. The order, which came in a legal malpractice lawsuit Blackburn filed last year, referred him to the Grievance Committee for the Southern District of New York for such actions as it deems appropriate. Now, Tyrone Blackburn said, I guess in an email to the media, not sure how this is all relevant to Rodney Jones' case or any other case I have. This will not have any impact on my ability to proceed in Mr. Jones' case. Although Judge Coates' decision was a referral to the SDNY Grievance Committee and not a sanction, I plan on appealing the decision. Now let's talk about Tyrone Blackburn as far as P.Diddy and T.I.
Now, back in 2021, I actually contacted Tyrone Blackburn because there was a letter that he had released to Deadline.com on P.Diddy and T.I, and there were significant typos in this letter. So I wanted to ask him directly about what he meant, specifically on the date. The way this letter was dated, there was errors in that and a lot of typos and grammatical errors when this letter was released. So I emailed him for clarification. This is what he said. This is what the email looked like. I said, good evening. Deadline.com shared a letter regarding TNT allegations and the request for a criminal investigation of TNT. The date of the letter is printed as February 16, 2020. Will this be fixed, or could you confirm that the date of this letter is February 16 of 2021? The PDF link is below for your office to review. And then I put best down the rabbit hole news, of course. Tyrone Blackburn responded and said, the date on the letter is correct. It was mailed a few days after I. So then I responded back to him and I said, Mr. Blackburn, the year is stated as 2020. Do you mean 2021? He writes back, I meant 2021. Please excuse the error. I thought, all right, it's an honest mistake, but it was released to major outlets and a lot of people reviewed it. I mean, you're talking about P.Diddy and T.I, right? So that was my contact with Tyrone Blackburn.
Tyrone Blackburn did the very same thing that he's doing now to P.Diddy and T.I. What Tyrone Blackburn did is that he came to the media and did a whole press tour where he gave a press conference to various media. And P.Diddy and T.I had to come forward and bring their attorneys. Now, this is an interesting part in the way in which Tyrone Blackburn moves. Tyrone Blackburn, at the time of P.Diddy and T.I, used a woman by the name of Sabrina Peterson. Sabrina Peterson was recruiting victims of P.Diddy and T.I on IG.
If there's any criminal acts involved. You understand that? So you go and you tell your 100%. Listen, no. But listen. Okay. In 5 minutes I gotta go because I got a 3:30 call. But what I'm saying to you is this: is that go to the authorities. Do not lie. You cannot lie to the police. Your ass will go to jail. So go to the police and tell the full truth. I don't care if this happened 100 years ago. Go do a police report. When you go do the police report, also bring your receipts. You should have text messages, phone numbers, this, that, and the third, locations, all this kind of stuff. You can emails, DMs, some level of something. There's something that led you to where, there's some way that you got to where you were, right? Go to the police. As soon as you do those things, go to the police. Go to the police, and as soon as you go to the police and you have your receipts, then come to me. I'm setting you up. I got you for therapy, and I got you for legal. I'm saying those are the two things. Go to the police, though. Go to the police in the same place that it happened. So if you have to fly to Miami, if you have to fly to such and such, if you got to go X, Y, and Z, go to the police. Or it's COVID, so they're probably doing police reports over the phone. Get you a detective. Go to the police. Tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But make sure you got receipts to back up every single thing you say, because every single thing you say will be challenged. But 9 times out of 10, there's a huge gray area in what they've been doing. So tell the truth, the 100% of the truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. There's more than likely into from what all the victims have told me, you guys have experienced something that isn't 100% legal.
And with those victims, Tyrone Blackburn wrote a letter. In the letter, he mentioned just the salacious allegations and very much concerning allegations. And he also said that he was submitting criminal referrals for various jurisdictions, which nothing came about that. Nothing came about that as far as those investigations came. Some say, part of it could have been because of the statute of limitations. Might have been an issue, but as far as other allegations, nothing has been said as far as what came out of that. Lisa Bloom was even jumping on the Tiny and T.I.
Now I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let y'all finish listening to it. The reason that the lady that works for Tyrone Blackburn allegedly was saying it doesn't matter if it was 100 years ago, still make a report, and she has a lawyer and she has a therapist, is because they want to use an allegation to force a settlement by slandering and damaging the persona of these celebrities. Now, no one is into victim blaming, but Tyrone Blackburn name has just resurfaced again with this situation with DJ Akademiks. And they are again trying to use salacious allegations to force him into a settlement. I just want you to think about it, because we got to be very mindful of how the legal system and the judicial system is being weaponized. We can't allow that to go. We can't allow that to stand.
Bandwagon, and basically posted on her own IG saying, I have been hearing from multiple people with harrowing stories about T.I and Tiny. Currently represent one, and there's surely more to come. You will hear more about her courage soon. In the meantime, T.I and Tiny say that the women are liars. Really? If you have information about this, please contact me. Of course, the call is free and confidential. Reach out at thebloomfirm.com or DM me. We understand your fear, and we are here. And these are screenshots from 2021 when the allegations were coming, where allegedly people were coming out speaking against Tiny and T.I, right? Other gossip bloggers were also pointing this out. Good Lord, so many accusers. And this was Lisa Bloom on her Twitter page at the time. And she says, now I represent one of them. What seems months and months. Lisa Bloom didn't say anything else. Tyrone Blackburn continued to recruit victims with Sabrina Peterson.
A couple of weeks ago, I saw that Sabrina was doing what she normally does, which is standing up on the side of the right. And I saw her being attacked. You know what, this can't happen to my friend. And I reached out to her to ask her if she needs some help, or just even just show her my support. And she said yes, and then that's how the ball started rolling. And 30 plus phone calls later.
This may not have nothing to do with what I'm showing you, But for some reason, this guy doesn't seem like he's American, like he's a black American. There's something about his accent and something about his demeanor that makes me think he's from a whole nother country. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it though.
And 11 retained clients. We are where we are today. And I think that we are going to make some serious changes within this industry because we're going to hold a lot of people accountable for their actions. And that's it.
I'm proud of you.
I'm more proud of you. Yeah.
How did today's situation go? Did she go to the place?
She's actually going tomorrow, 2 o'clock. So already set up. So, not to give away any secrets to your 172 viewers on your live, but we may have an announcement to make later on this week again. So this is a never-ending story, and the ball keeps on rolling. So, yeah. But the work doesn't stop. The work must continue. We got to make sure we stand up and we protect our black women. That's it.
Another victim, right?
Yeah. But, I have to do my due diligence. We have to work through.
And the craziest part is that a lot of these victims were being recruited on IG Lives. Sabrina Peterson was heard telling the victims what they had to do. And Sabrina Peterson also opened up an IG page at the time that was followed by Tyrone Blackburn called Not Your Model Victim. And
when you approach the Not Your Model Victim Instagram page, it is a very cryptic looking type of page. I think part of it is because the message is very strong. So in there's a quote that says, "There's no such thing as a model victim." And it is followed by Sabrina Peterson and Tyrone Blackburn. Okay. So as I'm looking in here, one of the things that I found very interesting was, and it stood out, was this page was only following one person. When you hit the following, you will find that it's following Tyrone Blackburn. So as I exit out of that and really just start thinking about, well, okay, so is this the web page that the 32 victims, that the, however many they have now, alleged victims are coming to reach out to Tyrone? Is this the way in which they're reaching out to him or Sabrina Peterson? How are they coming up with gathering these victims? That was my biggest question.
And in this website, they had a movie, very salacious movie, that basically mirrored Tyrone Blackburn's letter of the allegation.
Jane Doe 4, a teenage friend. Date of incident with T.I, 2006, 2007, and 2015. In 2005, Tiny approached her to work as their assistant. She was never paid or compensated for any of the work completed. On one occasion, T.I stood over her, and Tiny stood close by as T.I forced her to open her mouth and swallow 8 ecstasy pills. Throughout the duration of her time with T.I and Tiny, the duo forced her to engage in sexual acts with different women against her will. In 2014, T.I and Tiny forced her to have sexual intercourse with rapper Nelly against her will.
Now, the IG movie mentions rapper Nelly, but the Tyrone Blackburn letter does not.
And rapper Nelly wasn't even mentioned in the complaints or in the Tyrone Blackburn letters. Lisa Bloom, and other bloggers had noticed this about Lisa Bloom. Lisa Bloom probably quietly dropped them as clients for lack of evidence. Nobody cares about the truth when a lie is more entertaining than people innocent. Freaks, yes, but definitely innocent. Major Girl, which is Tiny's IG page, put in some exclamation emoji points in there. You guys might want to ask why Lisa never pursued that case. Why Lisa never said anything publicly about her tweets, her IG posts back in 2021. And Tyrone Blackburn continued to move forward. The other scandalous part out of this situation is that Sabrina Peterson was sued by Tiny and T.I, and she lost that defamation case. Until this day, she is still trying to collect victims of Tiny and T.I in hopes that something is going to come out of that. Trying to collect victims with Tyrone Blackburn on IG. This was just March 25th, where she's tagging Tyrone Blackburn to this post. And let me tell you, Tyrone Blackburn, this is such a bad look, because part of it is are you really for the victims? What are you doing for victims? Are you truly representing them as they need to be? Because I know that the industry does have victims out there. The industry gets to be the industry off of the backs of innocent people. But someone like Tyrone Blackburn is truly harming the victims. So honestly, Tyrone Blackburn is really about creating salacious media at the backs of these alleged victims that are truly hurting, that could really use somebody good and qualified to represent them. I personally don't think that he is it. He has shown a track record not only with Tiny and T.I, there's also the Jennifer Huff situation, which makes me wonder, and there hasn't been a whole lot said about Jennifer Huff, Kenneth Petty, and Nicki Minaj. Is Tyrone Blackburn really being helpful and out there for the victims, or is he extorting celebrities, as Tasha K has put out there, for a payday, a pay cut?
Yeah, his bar license is under review now. Now he's got to prove, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. The only case that he's ever won was the case that he won against the company he sued that he worked for. They gave him money. He ain't won. So what he does is he threatens these celebrities and say, we're gonna go forward with this lawsuit. If you pay, we won't go forward. That's extortion.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments. He has no track record of winning any of these cases, but then again, settlements tend to be very quiet, but I'd like to know what your thoughts are. I'll see you guys on the next one, and if we should go live and talk.
Shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole. Now, DJ Akademiks, he's a fellow blogger. And he started, as I said earlier, looking into Tyrone Blackburn because he was reporting on the cases of these celebrities, because his platform is about celebrity status. And when he started looking into the background of the lawyer, somehow he automatically is now being sued for an old case in civil court. Now, again, like I say, I don't really do celebrities, but if it's involving things that go against the general aspirations of the community, with a thing such as lawfare and using the judicial system and legal process as a weapon to extort, harm, or damage the citizens, we're going to talk about it. Now, the things in here are allegedly, but if you Google Tyrone Blackburn and Google some of the things that was discussed, you could come to your own conclusions. So, signing to you out of Detroit, this is Detroit's HPTV. As always, keep your head on a swivel. Salute to all the patriots. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe.